Hey everyone, CJ here again with the next in the series of how to play all the classes in MvM. Today I'm going to be talking about the Soldier, which is one of the most versatile classes and has lots of different loadouts and styles of play to be able to play in MvM. It's hard to believe that back in the expert days, Soldier was considered the noob class, as it was the class picked by the newer players who didn't really understand the meta at the time, where it was preferable to have two heavies and a pyro. Ever since the Two Cities update, which introduced the new maps and new upgrades for both Soldier and Medic, it's been seen as a class that can be quite useful and important. And that tag of the noob class has been transferred over to our friend the Pyro. To start off with, we need to talk about Loadout, to see how to start out and depending on what role you're going to be using as a Soldier. Personally, I think the best way to play Soldier is the default rocket launcher. It has the best damage and clip size combo to be able to deal damage on the flanks and hold down areas, and also be versatile and mobile for those moments that you need it. Some people use the black box. Even though it has health on hit, 15 plus HP every time you hit an enemy, you have one less clip size, which means you only have 3 to the default rocket launcher's 4. And sometimes that will cost you, as you're going to be in a situation where you need an extra rocket to stay alive, and even though you've got health back, if you're not killing the robots quick enough, it's going to be to your detriment. And once you've got health on kill and your damage is high enough, you're going to be killing most of the robots in 1 or 2 hits anyway, which means you're going to be getting at least 25 HP back, especially if your scout is milking as well. So health on hit isn't that great of a big deal, so I would not use the black box personally. The Beggar's Bazooka is probably the best damaging option for the Soldier. It's possible to do huge amounts of damage over the default rocket launcher due to the splash damage of the 3 rockets coming out at the same time. Especially in close quarters, it is extremely powerful. However, it's less versatile than the rocket launcher. You're not able to jump around as easily with the Beggar's Bazooka. You're not able to hit those accurate rockets on things like the Super Scouts using Rocket Specialist as much, unless you pre-fire and spam them. But damage-wise, especially on tanks, it does insane amounts of damage. So if you want to play the more damaging role as Soldier, play close to the Medic, then Beggar's Bazooka is probably the best idea. But for me, Rocket Launcher is probably the best if you want to hold down the flanks and jump around the map quite a lot. In the secondary slot, the best option is the Buff Banner. It gives you mini crits and it gives the rest of your team mini crits, and as a support class in MvM, the Soldier needs the Buff Banner. If you're running multiple soldiers, it's possible to use all of the different banners, including the Contra and the Battalions Backup, and even use the Righteous Bison, as it penetrates through robots and tanks, so it does surprisingly large amounts of damage. However, as you're not going to be upgrading the Buff Banner, it's possible to switch them out depending on the wave. The Battalion's Backup is actually quite useful, as it prevents against crits, and on some waves you have lots and lots of robots that deal lots and lots of crits, such as spamming crit pipes over or crit rockets, and having a Battalion's Backup will help your team stay alive. Like I said earlier, the Soldiers is essentially a support class, trying to keep the other members of your team alive. On the melee slot, just have the whip to whip your teams, or the escape plan. Either one will work, as you're not really going to be using them very much. As for upgrades, the best upgrade and the most important, and the reason why Soldier was brought back from the death, from the banishment during the expert days, is because of Rocket Specialist. Rocket Specialist deals more damage when you hit a direct hit onto an enemy. It also stuns them in place, which is very important against things like Super Scouts, as it slows them down in place for just a few seconds, allowing the rest of your team to deal more damage to them. You don't need that much in Rocket Specialist though. 1 is enough. 1 is enough just to get the stun ability and that slightly extra damage. And then you really want to focus on reload speed. Just like in Demo Man with the sticky launcher, reload speed is very important, as you want to have as many projectiles as possible in play. Once reload speed and Rocket Specialist have got some in them, 1 in Rocket Specialist, reload speed maxed out, you want to start looking towards health on kill, damage and firing speed. Damage is obviously important. Once you've upgraded damage enough, it'll only take 2 or 3 hits in order to get your Buff Banner up to maximum capacity. Health on kill is good because you're going to be playing on the flank area, which means you're going to need to stay alive. You're going to be away from the medic. You don't always want to have to jump back to the dispenser in order to get some health. And firing speed is important as well because you're getting lots more rockets out. You can kill things much quicker staying alive. After that, things like clip size and ammo are useful. Clip size is important. It gives you more rockets. It's expensive, so I wouldn't start off with it, but it can be important. And coupled with reload speed, it means you're never going to run out of rockets. And ammo is also helpful as well. You don't really want to be jumping back to dispenser and ammo packs, especially with the Beggar's Bazooka, as when it's active, you can't actually use a dispenser. But how does the soldier actually play? His role is support. You can do great damage and get a lot of kills, but it's support, using that buff banner to support your teammates. Things like cleanup. Its main role is essentially cleanup, chasing back any loose robots that may have the bomb and got behind. The soldier is the quickest, it's the most mobile because he can rocket jump and pogo across the map in order to get to those robots very quickly. And also it's very important that he can stun things. If something's running past with the bomb, he can shoot a rocket, and even though it might not kill in one hit, it will slow it down just that little bit more, enabling the rest of your team to maybe get back and help out killing it. Killing off individual robots is helpful, such as snipers. Snipers are spawn generally from the top areas of the map, in Manhattan and in Rottenburg, and the soldier is the best class to get there quickly and kill them in a couple of hits, which enables the rest of your team to be a bit more free and not get picked off by those pesky snipers. But generally, holding down the flanks is the soldier's job. There are always two entrances on both maps. On Rottenburg, you have the top right entrance and you have the main left entrance. And on Manhattan, you have the main entrance on the right hand side and you have the top left area, the flank area, second entrance on the stairs on Manhattan. As a soldier, you're going to be watching, for example, on Manhattan, these stairs on the left-hand side. The combo, I like to call it, with your demo, your heavy, your medic, are going to be watching the main area. And you and your NG are probably going to be watching the left-hand area. It's really good. It's designed for the soldier. You can spam the area. You get a lot of splash damage. You can do a lot of damage to the robots that come down. But you can also prevent those robots from getting behind the rest of your team and doing damage and getting to the cap. Build up your buff banner by shooting those robots, use the buff banner and help out your combo. If there's nothing coming up in that area, you can drop down and help the rest of your teammates, giving them their mini crits, enabling for them to kill those robots especially quickly. Especially on the giants, if you build up your buff banner and give those mini crits to your team, it allows you to give mini crit damage to everybody. The Fan of War for the scout does enable you to deal mini crits to a single robot, but the buff banner allows everybody to have mini crits for every robot they shoot at. As there's no pyro in the current meta, in the default meta I should say, for Two Cities MvM, the best tank buster is now the soldier. The heavy has the 75% less damage on the tank, and the demo is the key class to be dealing most of the damage to the large quantities of robots and taking down those uber medics. So the soldier is the one that is able to fall back on Rottenburg and take down the tank. And because the buff banner is built up when you shoot the tank, it allows you to keep doing mini crit damage to the tank as well. The team can assist as the tank starts out, but then the soldier can just follow it to the spawn and he can probably take it down solo if you're using it right. Especially if you're using that Beggar's Bazooka, it will go down in no time at all. But other than that, the soldier is an extremely mobile class. Find the areas where the rest of your team aren't watching and jump over there using rocket jumps. Take down those individual robots that may have picked up the bomb. Find ways to build your buff banner and then use them on the rest of your team. The soldier is sometimes seen as a class that isn't necessary, and some people want to swap it out for a pyro or for another heavy, but used the right way it is invaluable. And especially on the second areas of Manhattan, it's possible to just hold the area down and do more damage than your demo or your heavy, as long as you're using it in the right way. Just remember that the pyros can air blast. A lot of the pyros that aren't constantly firing their flamethrower, they will reflect your rockets, and that can end up in some unfortunate team kills. But that's it for Soldier. As always, post what you think in the comments, guys, and I'll try and get back to you, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.